Welcome to our podcast. Welcome to whatever this is.
Yep.
Whatever the first episode, we have no clue what we're doing, guys. What are your thoughts on 87 Hellraiser?
That is the only one to me. Sorry, I know you like the new Hellraiser, and I know a lot of people do. I just don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about it. I can't fully grasp and get into. I just feel like the 87 is so much better. It's just, I can't look at the new one.
Is it the practical effects, the CGI? Like, what is it that gravitates you towards the 87 version?
It's because I have like an old soul and I like older things, you know what I mean? But I think the makeup work in that for the 87, who's that? Bob Keane, he did the special effects.
Right, yeah.
That, I think, for that time period was so good. And even though Hellraiser, it's kind of like slid down a little bit to where when it first came out, it was really popular. You saw it everywhere. You saw it at Halloween. You saw it, but now you don't.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they're trying to bring it up again now in 22, but it's just like we were talking about the remakes.
Well, yeah, I feel like Halloween was the only horror movie to make a big jump from the OG to new, and we're able to do it okay. Every other movie tried to do it, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre tried to do it. That flopped big time because they just copied what they did 2 years ago. And then you have Hellraiser now trying to basically do the same thing. Now, but I enjoyed the new Hellraiser, but not for the same aspects of the original. I enjoyed it for the box.
Yeah. Box. You'll have to get like a box art, but you love the box. And it is.
You know, like having the blade come out and choose its victims by their blood, I thought was a really cool aspect to bring to the box element. 7 Deadly Sins, 7 different configurations, which meant something. But then when you got that configuration and you took that ring for that configuration, it was not what you thought. I mean, we've seen that with the billionaire. He thought he was gaining a sensation. Well, then he got a huge thing through his back and his front. Spoilers alert, by the way, guys. And his nerve endings get pulled in between all these grinding gears forever. So he lives forever feeling this pain, all because he picked sensation. So that's what I really enjoyed about the new one. The things I didn't enjoy about it was, that the Cenobites seemed too clean. They're not more dirty enough. They should have been more grimy looking, more bloody.
It's very pristine. But see, that's the thing about today's world that I get fuzzy about. People are just going for too much perfection.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I think they're trying to be like, oh, that's not it. No, give it a little, it's gonna make it pop. But I think, like, you don't want to look at it gross.
Get the money puddle. Let it split up and hit your in the face. Like,
exactly.
Second, Evil Dead, the new one, like the remake, was muggy, bloody, gross, shit in your face all over the place. That's what I think a remake needs to do. I thought that remake was fantastic. That's probably another conversation for another episode, but I think Hellraiser was missing that on the mark for the new one.
Yeah. I'm not shitting on the makeup. I thought it was done very well, but I think that, it's just, you don't go into hell and come out of hell looking like a fresh daisy. It just don't happen.
Whether you're cut up or skinned or not, like, you should not come up clean. Yeah, right. Exactly. Like, biggest concern with the Cenobites being clean looking. Other than that, I thought they were great. Like, the Chatterbox guy was there.
Mm-hmm.
He looked cool. They had a couple new Cenobites in there, which were fantastic. And I thought the girl, as being Pinhead, at first I was kind of skeptical
Yeah.
But I thought it was good. The voice, I think I would have made a bit deeper myself, but the effects they had on the voice was really cool. I just would have deepened the voice myself personally.
And they might have done that.
I mean, it was good.
Yeah, they might have done that and go, oh, that's a little bit too. And then maybe they had to go with that, which it wasn't bad, but I do agree. I do. If I don't want a fairy godmother talking to me, I want like the depths of hell.
You want to be a menacing, dark voice, not a high pitch, but like, yeah, you have the effects on it. That's cool and all, but I don't get a menacing voice out of it, and I'm missing that. I need that.
Y'all tear your souls apart.
Like you need that, like that darkness, like that deep voice, that style, but it's not portrayed after the effects with that darkness.
It's funny because I was going to say, well, you don't want to hear like, your wife saying that. I'm thinking like, oh no, that's perfect. Most men are like, God, this is hell, Maybe that's what they were going for, like they're getting oh, that sounds like my wife. Yup, that's accurate.
Yeah, like the guy in the sound booth is like, yeah, that's my wife every day. And they're like, yeah, okay, that's good.
That works. That's perfect. No, I do agree. I definitely agree on that. And I agree the makeup was beautiful. But
the makeup was crazy good. Like the losing more of the leather I thought was a good idea. Leather was a big thing in the 80s, bikers, this and that. And so leather made more sense, S&M, the whole. But nowadays, there's not as much leather in the S&M as you see as you've seen back then, and even with bikers, there's less and less leather all the time. The original, it looked like ripped open skin.
Yes. In
the new one, I was a little disappointed with how it looked like it was drawn on. It didn't look like flesh popping out of the holes of where they're ripped. It should be popping out and maybe secreting a bit of fluids or something to make it look realistic. The original looked more realistic. It looked like it was bulging out of the costume.
Every artist, makeup, drawing, writer, whatever, they all have a specific talent. They all have it. Whether or not you agree with it, that's what makes us all different.
Well, yeah, exactly, right?
But, I feel like when we were talking about Joker and how like, oh my God, I thought all that city was real. Even I think the adult theater was CGI. That looked authentic. I thought they really just like redid that. Nope.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy on the level that they're getting.
Depends on who the artist is that's doing it, I think. And I just feel like some movies, they hit the mark perfectly.
Right.
Absolutely. This movie almost hit the mark. If they just made it look more realistic, if they had brought a little practical effect on top of the CGI, they would have nailed that mark. That costume. The idea of the costume was great.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I love the look, but it screams CGI. Flesh.
Right.
It,
make sure that it instills
that it's like a real thing underneath that suit or underneath the costume. Right. Oh my God, you would have been more terrified seeing that every now and then pulsate.
Right.
That would have made me terrified.
Right.
Other than that, I was not scared in any means of the way.
I think the 87 is scarier.
87 has blood and guts and gore. Like but Frank coming back from his skull being attached to the floor, and then he's bringing himself up, and they got the strings of flesh coming to his face, and
exactly
man,
exactly. That is what I'm talking about. When he's skinless and he has all the muscles, and it's just that glossy work. It's like, oh my God, he's he's becoming more and more human because he's getting glossy. He's not dried up anymore. He looks
he's getting more moist.
Moist.
That's the thing. You were talking about the pulse. That's it.
That is what they need.
Right.
Right? A fucking Cenobite. He gets his mouth ripped open.
Which I still thought that was done well.
looked really cool, but again, looked dry. The rips look dry. It should be fleshy and pulley
And
disgusting looking. Instead, it just peels back, and I'm like,
but see,
okay,
that's
so
the thing.
that's not scary to me.
I think that's not to interrupt you, but I think that's just how we're getting. Everything has to be okay. You know, it's like, okay, well, if we're all okay, how are we going to let loose with like a movie that looks just okay? You know, we're not all Stepford Wives. We can't like all fucking, you know, just be robotic. I think that, you know, if it's not for you, it's not for you. All right, you don't have to jump on that bandwagon. Find something else. I think people all just want to have something in common, and or maybe I'm way off, but I've noticed this
I
more
think
than
they're trying to make it so that everyone feels okay to watch it.
right.
Instead of just opposing to one audience.
Yeah.
But they're losing their core audience because they're not doing what it should be doing.
Yeah.
And what it should be doing is disgustingly pulling it away with stress of muscle and blood and
Tendons,
gore,
yeah, veins.
and seeing it happen, and then seeing it happen on the rest of his body, and pulling those tendons and those nerve endings and stuff, pulling and stringing away from him, showing the actual pain he's going through. He's acting like it, but you're not seeing it. Like, that doesn't look painful to me. I'm sorry, he just rips it back and then he turns into a Cenobite. We'll tear your soul apart. Well, I'm sorry. It does not look you're tearing my soul apart.
At all. It looks like you just ripped off a layer of makeup and put more makeup on top.
Full intently. Don't half-ass it to appease half the audience.
Exactly.
Fuck it. Gore is what makes horror movies fun. As soon as you get to the car, you get in the car, and you're like, oh my god, do you remember this part? Oh shit. You know, like, then you're like, you're amped up about it, right?
Right.
That's when a movie makes an impression, right?
Right.
And that's when you know the director, everyone did their job properly. Everyone, but
Nope. No,
the
definitely.
story and the director and the cinematography.
Cinematography.
I can say the word.
Ow, now, cinematography.
She said it for me, guys. I am the Michael Myers Gurus